Hi guys, and welcome back to the channel. I want to start off today's episode with a quick apology for not uploading last week. It was a bit busy. To start off, had a couple of final exams, and then had to move out of the two dorm rooms I was living in. Crazy COVID stuff I'm not going to get into right now. Followed up with 4 days in a house without internet, and then had to move into my current house where I'll be staying at least for the next year or so. But I'm back this week and really looking forward to this video. Today, I'm thinking we start to spice up this area over here. So, this big empty space, we got a little bit of a port going here. I'm thinking we put in a bit of a storage yard, probably I'm not really sure, but we're going to start off with a storage building right here and a couple of racks, kind of styled like these racks over here we built for the docks, but on a bit larger of a scale with shipping containers and the like. So let's get started. I'm going to put in a quick framework of what I'm thinking, and I'll get back to you in just a minute. Alright, welcome back. It's been a little bit. I ended up getting a bit tad carried away, but I think we've got the basics of what we're going to do today. So, over here, starting with the number one, is a bit of a dry dock. Essentially, the boat is in here when it's dry, sits in here. You can either be building it or taking it in from the ocean. Right here, lifts up this gate to let the water in or block the water. And this system supports it. We'll be putting in a little bit more detail, probably a boat in here. Over here, we've got two racks. Essentially, they support shipping containers, which we'll also be putting on there. And over here is a storage shed, or whatever you want to call it. We'll come up with something. And we're going to be putting in the rest of the walls and a roof onto the top of it. Thinking a little bit of a shipyard is going to get built up in this area, sort of between River's End and a city that I'm thinking would be kind of cool to put it over here around this particular little spot in the future. And then probably a lumber yard right around here as well. Alright, so let's build some of this. I'll come back to you here in just a minute, and we'll take a look at some of the work we've done on this new building. Alright, welcome back. So I made a few changes. I put on the walls and roof and a little bit of interior decorating. Nothing too detailed yet. We'll get there though. And I decided to upgrade these a little bit. I felt like they were a bit too chunky originally, so made them a little bit more sleek. We'll get back to them here later this episode, and we'll put a few crates on them, I think. Anyway, so on this building, we put an exterior on, a little bit of foundation work, a roof, black stone. I've always particularly liked that as a roof texture. And we have added a few shelves here on the inside, if you can see them. So, what I'm planning on doing next is adding the details, putting in texture here, and filling in these shelves and putting some light in the building. I'll be back to you in just a minute. I'm back. So, we're going to quickly go over. Nothing particularly special on the outside, just a little bit of texturing. With the logs, going to mix different types of logs, and with the walls, it's no longer just bone blocks, but a mix of wool and concrete powder as well. On the inside, you got a pretty standard floor texturing with the different types of stones, and you've got barrels and chests lined up on the walls with one or two torches placed around. A little bit of a special surprise for another episode. I have placed a secret chamber underneath, accessible by this button, which I'm very much looking forward to doing with you guys. That's going to be fun. But it's time to move on to our next project here. So I'm going to go in, I'm going to build a couple of different uh, shipping crates on these platforms here, and I'll be back to you in just a minute. So about a minute in, I realized that there's not really much point of a shipping container in this sort of time period because they would be using big tractors to move them. So instead, I'm going to array a few raw resources, tree trunks and hay bales, that sort of thing. That sort of thing is what would be on these kind of platforms here. So I'm going to go back in, I'm going to go put a few of those on here, and I'll get back to you in just a minute. Alright, I'm back. So what I've done is I've thought about the different things that might be shipped out of this port, and I realized, well, there's probably going to be some farms later on down over there, and there's definitely a lot of birch trees. So birch tree logging, definitely going to be a big export right here. So until we've got some other resources here that we are expecting, we'll have hay and birch tree logs that are going to be exported out of here. Of course, we got other things in here, but those aren't primary. These are our primary exports. So now that we've got those out of the way, let's turn to the last project of this episode and work on this. Now, it's already got a decent start, but I'm thinking we'll add a couple of different things in here. So I'm going to go in, add a couple of different things, and when I get back, I'll tell you all about it. Alright, so I'm back. And so what we've done here, we've added a couple of cranes and stuff like that. So I'll take you through the tour. On the inside here, we've got a little bit of dead coral and stuff like that, build up from when there was water in here. And of course, a bit of algae build up. You've got the start of a boat that's being held up by these this crossbar and a crane. This crane here is lowering down this bar, which is going to be added to the boat. And here's a collection of additional planks that are going to be added. Over here, we've upgraded these systems, so now when this thing is lifted, it's these lodestone counterweights that will make sure that it comes up. And of course, as always, we've textured our logs to make sure there's a little bit of nice variation. Alright, I think that's good for today. I hope you've enjoyed. And, as always, it's been a pleasure. Please don't forget to subscribe and like the video if you enjoyed it. And please leave a comment if you have any particular ideas of what you think I should do, or just let me know your feedback for the video. Thank you so much for joining me today.